should be. Okay, so let's go.
So please say a few words about your project, Fomati. Where did the idea come from?
Come from him.
Well, the entire idea was initiated in the middle of exactly 2 years ago, fall 2017. Roderick Cover with Katarzyna Boratyn, working already with Adam Mickiewicz Institute in Warsaw. They came with the idea to open an independent program, part of program Independence, 1000th anniversary of Polish independence, and was called since the beginning Plus 100. So 100 plus, but in this case plus 100. And the idea was that selected Polish artists are inviting foreign artists. They collaborate, or they want to collaborate, they want to cooperate. And in my case, I invite Chris Cutler, which is just the extremely important person on the contemporary music scene for decades. Well, I make you make you involved in this explanation as a very important element. But also the idea of the project that we are making, we are opening collaboration. So the project is coordinated by 2 artists in this case, and some element belongs to both of us. Some elements are very personal and individual, starting from the brain biofeedback techniques which are included to the project. But that's perhaps the only individual element which I include to the project. Maybe the title a little bit, because the title is also the quite important issue that we are focusing on our memories. The memories which have a very special structure, they are not quite clear, especially when we go to the past, when we make a reference to the past, and we are not exactly sure whether things happen like they happened, and this is quite natural processing of our brain. What we call confabulation. Do we have the word in English?
Yes.
Yeah. So kind of natural processes where we keep some elements more and some other elements less clear. So then the adjustment goes to create a new memories, and this is a beautiful story. So that's why we folding and unfolding our memories toward things that we are not sure whether they happened or not. And this kind of illusions, fictions, and mixed with different form of realities, it's one of the issue. So that's one of the concepts. We can talk about this more, but the moment is a very special moment because we are a few hours before the performance. So we can examine what is still present, what is on the very open space and fixed. That's the overall duration of the performance. The performance consists from different movement parts. But 1 year ago, we assigned a quite clear, exact time structure, but now we decided to make it a little bit more free.
Yeah, I mean, how does the brain work? There's no center to the brain. There's no little man sitting in the middle or little woman sitting in the middle guiding the whole process. They're what's called coming into it should be a bit like walking into somebody's head. And there are all these conflicting things going on all the time, lots of activity, lots of different lines being followed, not coming to any definite conclusion yet, because the brain is constantly firing, constantly being stimulated by new things, which fires more neurons and your synapses are going crazy. So this, with all the lights and with all the sound, and with also no coherent narrative centre to it, that's how I envisage this to a certain extent. It should be an experience, as if you're walking into this active brain which is trying to cope, and it's all a bit psychedelic really, because it would be if you were able to get in there.
So then continue this quite important issue. We are using a certain kind of technology, biofeedback technology, which is quite advanced nowadays, and we use two brain sensors. We capture our brain activity live, and then how we control selected media, both sounds and video. So with sound, we have two stages. One stage, including several small stages, is the stage of crease, and my smaller stage. There are two main sound resources, and then we are using both acoustic, we call sometimes natural, but I'm not quite clear whether this is more or less natural than electronics. Even the virtual is real. That's one of my lectures. The virtual is also real because we obtain it in real time. So that's why it's quite important to understand that all phenomena which are coming to our brain through our senses are real phenomena. But coming back to the technology which is inside, we control selected media. We have lasers, and they are controlled by our brain activity, and we have sound structures which are controlled. There's one very specific issue. We call it immersive media, because in both forms, video and visual forms and sound form are distributed in space, also in a spectacular way. So here we have a large hall, 40 meters long, on a rectangle.
80 meters, no?
80 meters
I think so.
altogether?
I believe so.
Yeah, 80. Yeah, from the middle where we are to the end, it's 40 meters times 40 meters. This is my dimension all the time. The 40 meters.
Half of the brain is 40 meters.
To the end, and then we use 8-channel system to make sounds moving. So the sound is also moving partly by light control from the brain, from my hand, and from another station. We have two assistants which help us very much during the performance. One of the reasons why we have the two assistants is that, especially when we are concentrating on your brain activity and you want to achieve a deep meditation, for example, you shouldn't do anything else just to be concentrated to reach the point of deep relaxation, and this is really available when you don't do anything else, just you are trying to reach the point. And the opposite is just the different level of attention, concentration, and you can, of course, get them much more easier when you are doing a lot of things. So more activity, better result. But those elements are quite important in our performance. I'm just explaining about the cooking process. We are cooking from different components, and those components has to be synchronized. That's why we spent several days here to collect all those things and to complete audiovisual immersive instrument, in quotes. All things, that's the instrument we play on. So that's not as easy as regular instruments which we are playing.
And technology help art or only change it, but we can say that it's help?
Uh-huh. I think is a question when we can put in general whether the technology helps or not. So, by my opinion, we are how to say it. You know, in this very important time of civilization development, we believe that the technology helps us as we wish, but practically sometimes we are in a trap. So we are collecting more and more devices, and in certain extent we are dependent to the technology, and sometimes we are dependent too much. So that's quite important to know exactly what we need and how the technology should be used, because sometimes I have a feeling that we don't know exactly what is this for, and then it's not a really general and big help. But on the other side, it's good if we use technology in quite natural way, because this is just natural part of the development of people, no matter where they are. On a certain moment, we have a very beautiful arrangement between low and high technology, and I like very much to go to the low level, to use devices which are limited and they are not really very sophisticated. So that's another story, but it needs also a longer explanation.
I think all the evidence shows, all the research that's been done, humankind, was in its best condition and its happiest state when we were hunter-gatherers. We evolved to be hunter-gatherers. This is a situation in which most societies are most equitable. There's the least distinction between people who have power and people who don't have power. There is, when there's food, everybody gets food. This is a basic condition. And it's been downhill from then on. The invention of agriculture was a backward step. The invention of industry was another backward step. We are now really quite miserable as human beings, and we are under immense pressure from the technology that we've invented, which is changing us. And some people are resisting that change, and some people are not resisting that change. But the fact is that everybody is born into a situation which they have to deal with. We've been born into a still industrial but approaching post-industrial world, which is full of all kinds of evils that we have somehow to deal with. And if you're fighting people who have highly sophisticated, electronically controlled weaponry, then it's no use throwing stones at them. So it's necessary for people and necessary for artists, if they want to actually make their art about the world that they're really living in, to take the elements of that world and try to bend it to their will. And so in this respect, art doesn't help or hinder. Technology doesn't help or hinder art. It's a necessary part of the discursive process. The problem for artists is to figure out how to use the technology and not to be used by the technology.
How do you evaluate your cooperation with Adam Mickiewicz Institute during the project Plus 100?
It looks. I think we are in a natural environment, so that's okay. They will find out. Don't worry. Okay, you are already part of this interview, so that is correct.
Yeah, send us your invoice.
Well, this is a part of many Adam Mickiewicz Institute, so I think it's quite limited. In fact, there are 3 projects only involved, and they all have had and will have premiere here in Lviv, which is a very special invitation by Tetramatica Festival, coordinated by Ostap Manuliak. and the event which is running simultaneously with Kontrasty Festival, which is an example of very vivid and intensive cultural activity here in Lviv. And in fact, we are getting the very first point, because the plan is that we will perform those projects in other venues, other locations. We don't know yet the plan, and but as I said, when the project will be done today, we have the archive, and then I have, for example, a presentation in Łaźnia Gallery in Gdańsk in the end of November, together with, coordinated by Ryszard Kluszczyński, also the cooperator of Adam Mickiewicz Institute. So there are some other steps already arranged and ready.
We need a little break because of the camera.
Okay. Did they make it diplomatic?
Yes, you're very diplomatic. Well, you've done this before, haven't you? Well.
Just a second. Hello. Chris, the important question. So, I manage everything with timpani.
Okay.
The question is, we need it, yes?
How much of a problem is it to bring? What I
So,
really need...
so now I just need organize the logistic, because at Music Academy, at Opera Studio of Music Academy, they prepared the timpani, but there are today there are no bus from Music Academy, so I should organize now the transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the circumstances as they are, I think, don't worry about it. If any complications, don't worry. What's really important is light.
Yes, light. It's already the lights are already.
If the timpani comes,
I don't show people,
but I don't desperately need
only voices.
Okay. I see.
now that we've been here for several days.
I see.
Tell you that. But if everybody's gone to much trouble,
No, to jest teraz ważny moment, czy ja szczerze mówiąc już zapomniałem, ale w Hajderze Chrisa były kotły. No i w tym momencie jest szansa, żeby je dostać. No więc oni teraz rozmawiają, no bo właściwie już właściwie Chris już zrezygnował z nich. No bo mamy wszystko gotowe. No i teraz jest pytanie, czy one są bezwzględnie potrzebne, bo z kolei nie mają transportu i bo trzeba wynająć coś. No, nie wtrącam się.
Będziemy musieli jeszcze raz to pytanie powtórzyć, bo się nie
Nie ma problemu.
powtórzymy jeszcze jedno do waszej dwójki, a
Ja i tak się dziwię, że odpowiadam grzecznie, bo jeden z moich systemów to jest taki, to mówię na początku, bezwzględnie na to, co mnie pani zapyta, mam gotowe odpowiedzi. To jest jeden z takich sposobów. Nie, to jest taka malutka prowokacja, ale czasami to jest dobra metoda. Akurat Moniko, jesteś przygotowana, ale czasami jest tak, że ludzie nie są przygotowani. Albo przez 26 lat mnie męczą tym samym pytaniem, co to jest ten audio art? Przychodzą przed festiwalem i pytają mnie, co to jest ten audio art? Ja mówię, o Jezu, znowu, nie, błagam, nie pytajcie mnie o to po raz kolejny. No, ale mówię, no dobra, to za każdym, co roku mówię coś innego, no i to jest inaczej zupełnie to tłumaczę i jest okej. A właśnie czasami są albo tak oczywiste pytania, albo tak jakby niezręczne czasami pytania. Właściwie dlaczego ja się tym zajmuję? Na przykład są takie pytania, właściwie po co? Ktoś od razu przychodzi takie nastrojenie, że po co w ogóle to robicie i tak dalej. O co w ogóle chodzi? Co są samą sztuką współczesną, nie? No to między innymi z tego powodu, czyli jesteśmy skupieni w tej odpowiedzi na tym, co robimy, prawda? I od razu opowiadamy to, co ma pójść na antenę. Ale nie wiem, czy to opowiadałem, bo kiedyś, no wiele lat temu graliśmy z Krzysiem Knitlem i Włodkiem Kiniowskim w Kielcach na jakimś festiwalu Hasa Parasa. I na festiwalu Hasa Parasa była ekipa z lokalnej telewizji, malutka ekipa, bo malutki lokalny ośrodek w Kielcach. No i oni tak przychodzili przez te 2 dni poprzedzające koncert, no i nas troszeczkę męczyli i cały czas właśnie były takie jakieś niezręczności, tam coś trzeba było powtarzać, bo ekipie się coś nie włączyło. No i ja już w dzień koncertu rano, jak się z nami spotkali, to ja pytałem, ale ile tego materiału idzie na antenę? No i okazało się, że minuta. Czyli w jakimś lokalnym tym programie z tych 2 dni męki miała pójść minuta. I ja mówię, dobra, a czy możemy jeszcze raz nagrać ten podstawowy materiał? Oni mówią, że nie ma problemu, bo oni tak to będą potem jakby wybierać z tego. No i wtedy ja się umówiłem z kolegami, że jak oni włączyli kamerę, to musimy zrobić coś takiego. I tak przez minutę, wiecie, ciągnęliśmy we trójkę. No i to potem był hit, bo wiele razy było powtarzane w telewizji.
Tak?
Tak, a ja potem tą dziewczynę, która koordynowała, mówię, i ma pani od nas życiorysy, i ma pani opis, i ten tekst będzie tak leciał. I tak było, to taki wzór, jak zrobić krótki spot, wiecie. A tych 3 zamrożonych facetów, którzy nic nie powiedzieli, tylko próbowali jedną zgłoskę wypowiedzieć z jakiejś dłuższej wypowiedzi, było takim happeningiem po prostu telewizyjnym. No, tak. Poza tym to, że ja mam taki słowotok, niestety, to, albo taką multidygresję, czyli taką hypertekstową strukturę, że cały czas o czymś opowiadam, potem się od czegoś odnoszę, potem mówię, no to teraz wracamy na ziemię, prawda, do tego punktu. To też jest związane z tym, że jeżeli robimy dużo podczas wywiadów przerw, to jest to większa możliwość cięć, wiecie? I jak się mówi w jednym ciągu, to jest o wiele trudniej wyciąć.
Tak.
I te całości zwykle są właśnie tymi rzeczywistymi, naturalnymi całościami. Też tego się nauczyłem dość dawno. Wszystko idzie, ta-ra-ra-ra.
Powiedziałeś moje.
Co?
Na 4 pytania, które mam zapisane w pierwszej wypowiedzi.
No widzisz. To są te gotowe odpowiedzi. I said that sometimes I use the interview model, and I even explain this in advance, that no matter what you ask, I have answers. Ready-made answers. Because sometimes the questions are not in case of Monica, but sometimes the questions are not really proper. So when you really want to make a material for the local TV or something, that's good to tell about pretty simple things immediately, no matter what are the questions.
So once again, how do you evaluate your cooperation with Adam Mickiewicz Institute?
In fact, I cooperated with them for a long time, by many years, by many different projects. They have a beautiful program, Kultura Polska na świecie. But this specific program is part of the program Niepodległa, so plus 100. It's a very special division of the program. Entirely, there were 4 Polish artists selected: Piotr Wyrzykowski, Krzysztof Bołek, Anna Zaradny, and me. And they invited foreign artists. At the moment, we have only 3 couple pairs of artists, and I think that this is really nice and very promising idea for future. In fact, we have a first performance today. We have 2 of them part of Teatramatyka Festival in Lviv, which was the first location for the world premieres of the project, and we're waiting for the next part. I have a special presentation in Łaźnia Gallery in the end of November this year, inside the program coordinated by Ryszard Kluszczyński, and he's also a coordinator. I think you got also some letters from Ryszard Kluszczyński, because he was working on behalf of Katarzyna Boratyn first, but now Natalia Cichowska is the main coordinator of the project. So we are looking for the next project. As I remember, it is the plan is for next 3 years, by several performances, not only in Europe and other countries. We are now talking about.
what inspires you? Because it's changed during the life, and at the moment, what inspires you? Because this place is very inspiring, and I think about it. What inspires you to this project and generally in art?
Well, partly I think we answered to this question, because the inspiration was just those first elements which came to project called Formati, Folded Maps of Time, and the elements which I'm personally working for several years using biofeedback techniques. But what about your inspiration?
In general, or in terms of this project?
In general, in art.
In general? Oh, well, in general, I'm quite interested in how shall I put this? In the specifics. So, recording gives you immense control over every parameter, because recording is also a memory system. It's a memory system that actually remembers performances, remembers sounds. It means that you can compose with performances. So it's a fantastic tool for composers and also for performers, because the two functions are united once you get into the environment where sound becomes a solid thing that you can work with. So this interests me a lot. This whole new technology of recording interests me a lot, because I think it's a huge paradigm shift from the old system where everything is written and you have the division of labour. And the other thing that interests me, which is exactly the opposite, is real space, real sound, real time. The one thing that recording can't deliver, and the one thing technology can't deliver, is what happens when you get a certain number of people into a particular space at a certain time with everybody in a particular frame of mind, and then you have to produce something using all of these conditions. In other words, where you are, what you're doing is that you're sacralizing time. You're creating shared time, so that everybody that's in the experience, all their experiences lock together. It's a bit like the function of dance in primitive societies, and even in quite late societies, is that everybody's doing the same thing together at the same time, or choral singing. So that interests me a lot. What the residue that's left when you get rid of everything else, which is purely human, which is about human communication.
Okay, so thank you. And I want to see your tools.
Uh-huh. We're looking forward. We have like 5 hours to the show. This is the very nice and specific moment. So, in fact, we are resting.
Yes,
we are
we're
relaxing.
We eat and rest.
That's the best
Dip
what we can do.
elbows in ice cold water, and then meditate for an hour. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Exactly.
That's what we do. We real musicians. We do all these ice cold water. Well, in fact, that's what I say that because apparently that's what Yehudi Menuhin used to do. He said that he would dip his elbows into ice cold water.
I have a one. If you can keep still recording, I have a simple question. What is your flight tomorrow? When is your flight? 4 o'clock. So I think we have still the opportunity to appear tomorrow at the Academy of Music.
Yes, he already
yeah,
asked me. I said
yeah.
I'd come at 12.
Okay, at 12 o'clock.
Somehow.
So that's another announcement, for tomorrow, because we have the presentations, the individual class. I start at 10 o'clock in the morning, Akademia Muzyczna imienia Łysenki in Lviv. And then we have a general presentation at 12 o'clock, and some other classes afternoon. So please join, because I think that would be also another very special opportunity to meet us after the show. We have the meeting before the show, and now we will have the after spectacle. Resume.
At 3 o'clock? I think
Well, this is just the announcement for the possible visitors. You can of course join us. I will webcast anyway, so it will be available online anyway. At the moment, the webcast goes on the website of the Studio of Electroacoustic Music at the Academy of Music in Kraków, SME, AMUS, Kraków.pl, dots in between, and you have the stream live. Also, the evening show will be available on that address. Perhaps also shared with the Teatramatica Festival, but this address is fixed already. Whatever I'm doing, I'm webcasting the activity live. Thank you very much.
Thank you.